Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB. This is my lovely wife, Gina, your storyteller. The editor is Maddie B. And this is another episode of CovertGoLore, the finale, episode 5 of the STRIXHAVEN official lore storyline called, what else? Final Exam. Take it away, Gina.
Hi, I'm so excited. It's the final exam, you guys. I've been studying so hard to be ready for the story. You ready?
No.
Okay, cool. We're going to do it anyway. It's by Adana Washington. And just to recap, here's where we left off, all right? The orcs are inside the Hall of Oracles, and Extus has summoned the Blood Avatar. He's a big, scary dude with beefy arms. And
4 of them.
Yeah, a lot of them.
More beefy arms than normal. Go
Yes. Onyx, Will, and Rowan tried to stop him, but Onyx got hit by a spell. Oh no, she's been teleported to the middle of nowhere. We have no idea how far away she is. And the twins have been knocked against a wall and are actively trying to avoid bits of ceiling falling down on them. That's where we are. So, you can see the picture of the big beefy dude now. The Blood Avatar is letting out an absolutely epic roar.
I
like how we harmonized on that.
Yeah,
really
yeah.
nice.
It was very, very beautiful. Go on.
Extus is cackling wildly, saying, he's like shouting stuff like, "Never thought I'd make anything of myself, huh? Well, take a look at me now. Wahaha, evil glee." You know, like you do after you finally got what you wanted. And Blood Avatar is spending his first moments in the world using a big axe to Hulk smash all those ancient statues who were looking on disapprovingly at the action. Will helps Rowan to her feet and he says, "It's going to destroy the school." He looks at his sister and he's surprised. She doesn't actually look scared like he's feeling right now. In fact, Rowan looks focused in a way that she never looked in class or at study hall or at their dorm. He finally understands something about his sister for the first time. This is where her talent lies, what she's meant to do. She is made for running into the storm. And she says, "Not if we can help it," and he nods. Now, all across campus, people are hearing the roaring. We don't have to do it again.
Okay.
It is heard by Dean Uvilda, who is sealing students into a dimension reserved for emergencies only. It's probably marked that way. It is heard by Plink and Auvernine, who are crawling through a dirt and roots tunnel to avoid dragon fire. And it is heard by Luca, who is focused on concentrating on every mage hunter who's skittering around. And Luca grins down at Mila and is like, well, it looks like Extus got what he wanted. But Mila is staring at the sky and her fur standing on end. And she jumps under a collapsed awning. And Luca, he's smart enough to trust her enough to just yeah, I'll follow you. And good thing too, because otherwise he would have been too late, because dragon fire scours the place he'd been standing just a second ago. It's making everything scorched black. And all the nearby mage hunters have been ignited instantly. And they're screeching and hissing as they die. Ah! And now searing pain is flooding Luca's mind from all directions. So you don't want none of that. He severs the mental link with the mage hunters before he can be overwhelmed by their ouchies. Oh, that would be super inconvenient. But now the mage hunters who didn't get fried are free to do whatever the heck they want. So they spread out and they turn on the nearest source of magical sustenance, the auric agents. Screams fill the air as the creatures pounce on their captors. And Luca watches, ooh, ooh, ah, And Mila, the little fox-like creature, she looks like she wants to help. And he's like, don't bother. It's not our fight anymore. So he calls her to his side. They turn and run away into the dark.
I'm surprised you didn't just planeswalk.
Bye.
Peace.
Are you surprised by that?
A little, but not that much.
I think you were hoping Luca would turn into a good guy and do something good.
Nah.
He's just
It's
like...
fine.
He
It's
basically
fine.
shrugs and leaves.
He might come back. They may need a Han Solo moment.
Maybe. Back at the Hall of Oracles now, Will sees an opening in the chaos, and he searches his databank mind for the iterated condensation spell that he learned. And then he creates this swirling vortex of razor-sharp ice shards and sends them to zipping over to Extus, who's busy, celebrating in his triumph. Unfortunately, before the ice can get there, Rowan fires at the same time, and her bolt of lightning just cracks through the ice, which detonates them, the lightning skittering off random directions.
Twin magic sucks.
Rowan is annoyed and yells stay out of the way!
Hey, sorry, can't you find help?
And Will shouts back, we need to work together. All we need to do is... Oh no, he's been cut off by falling rubble that hits him. Knocks him down. And Rowan, she tries to go to him, but the creature's enormous sword just cleaves into the stone right in front of her. Boom! And impulsively, she's like, what can I do? She puts her hands on the sword and tries to use it like a lightning rod, just go send her electricity up to the blood avatar, but it's not really enough to do anything. And the blood avatar just pulls its sword free, which knocks her backward. And now she's on the ground. She looks at Extus. She looks at the big bad final boss, the blood avatar, and her brother, who still hasn't moved from where he landed. So now her feelings are in overdrive. The tears are welling up in her eyes. Cold anger is rising up in her. She's got to use rage to overwhelm the fear and pain she's feeling. She knows she can't win, but she could hurt the one who started this. And so she's getting ready to send a lightning bolt into the back of Extus, but then her gaze shifts to the snarl. It's just right there. It's rippling with power. So she takes a deep breath, closes her eyes, and reaches out. Meanwhile, Extus is thinking, all is finally right with the world. And you know what? It may have taken me years to prove what idiots these people were to pass me over, but the wait was so totally worth it. I love this. I love being a bad guy. It's awesome. But, oh no, my blood avatar, what's wrong, buddy? His roar's been cut short. And his body is spasming. In the many failures that Extus had before. How could this happen? No way, bro. The snarl has more power than anything. It has to be enough. But then he notices that little blonde first year is siphoning off some of the power. He's too shocked to move. No way. No way could some pitiful first year student ruin all his plans. Right?
It never happened in any lore ever anywhere that these little first years ruin something an evil overlord has been plotting.
No, and they can never take down the most powerful wizard ever. That can happen.
No.
Rowan is struggling to breathe because the air around her is just sparking and hissing with so much energy. The power is rushing into her. Power like she never dreamed. She can do anything. Make mountains crumble. Cities burn, oceans boil. And then she opens her eyes and looks at Will on the ground, motionless, and feels fresh rage and grief. So she turns to Extus, and he's just kind of watching and waiting to see what she'll do. So she lets the snarl energy course through her, and then barely notices as her feet have left the ground and she's floating in the air like Dark Phoenix. And she screams and fire rushes towards Extus like a star, like a lightning bolt from heaven. And Extus tries to defend himself, but the spell crashes into him and sends him flying. His robes are smoking and he smashes into a wall. Now Rowan's gonna turn to the blood avatar. And the creature is jerking in place. It's so mad that its rampage has been interrupted. But she knows, with all of this power, she can destroy it. And Extus. And anyone, whoever tries to hurt her and Will, they're all gonna burn. So she draws some more power from the snarl. And electricity is like kind of sending these jolts of pain through her body, but you know, whatever, she don't care. She's the most powerful thing in the room, in the school, maybe the whole plane. So she reaches towards the blood avatar to send a bolt of lightning. Instead, a wave of agony rips through her and she gasps, "Oh!" And then she hears laughter. Extus gets to his feet. "Did you really think you were strong enough to hold all that power? Did you think you were worthy?" Rowan's like ignoring him. She's trying to focus on controlling the power. And he continues, "I've been training for this my whole life, and you're just some dumb kid." All the strength leaves Rowan's limbs, and she falls limply out of the air, landing with a thud on the stone floor. Extus says, "Nice try, kid, but I've come too far to be stopped by someone like you." So he picks up his book again and starts reading aloud. And Rowan just lays there. She's feeling so hollow. The power's still in her, and her arms and legs are kind of jerking around, but she's got nothing. And Will crawls over to her and hisses, "Rowan, get up. Please, you have to get up." Rowan says, "I'm sorry. About the fight at the Mage Tower match and at Bow's End. I'm really sorry." Will says, "I'm sorry too." He helps her up. He tries to take her towards the door, like maybe they should just go, she's hurt. But then he has a brilliant idea. Bing! It's just like Mage Tower. We need to intercept it like a mascot.
All his books didn't have that in it. He had to go watch sporting events.
Rowan remembers like a time in the past when Will was right. Will had been right about Garrick. Garrick was a dude.
Garrick is a big, awesome planeswalker.
Yeah,
Yep.
and he, in that other story, had became like a slave dog to Oko for a while.
Really?
Yeah. But Will had found a way to free Garrick and win him as an ally.
Maybe he was an elk. Did Oko make him an elk?
I could be wrong. I think they called him dog.
Okay.
Anyway, she's thinking, Will's actually kind of right pretty often. My brother's kind of smart. So she says, "Okay, show me what all that studying can do." That's a direct quote.
He's talking about Mage Tower. Go on.
Right? So Will grins. And now a red light is swirling around his hands. That's weird. That isn't normally what Will does. He's not doing ice magic this time. And he sends it to the blood avatar. And this red halo of light snaps into place around its neck. And Will says, "It's still a summoned creature. And with this spell, we can control it." And the creature is bellowing. And Extus appears to be working really hard. And he's sending black mist magic toward the creature. And the red halo is flickering. And Rowan realizes, oh, Will and Extus are both like pouring their power into the spell. And Will's losing. But she can help. So she puts her hand on his shoulder. And she says, "You concentrate on the spell. I'll do the rest." Their magic was too different to meld together like it did before. But he's more controlled now. And she is stronger. So she pours the last of all her magical energy into her brother. And he gasps, "Whoa, that's a lot of energy." And Extus lets out a cry, "Ah!" as the red halo snaps into place fully formed. "You brats! You meddling kids! How dare you!" And then the blood avatar closes a massive fist around his body and crushes the auric leader with a crunch sound. Will is so happy. It worked, Rowan! But Rowan is completely tapped out and she's like swaying in place. And then in slow motion, the red halo flickers out. And the blood avatar roars as it's being pulled back into the snarl. And it manages to get one last swing of its sword in. And Will shoves Rowan out of the way. She's too weak to stop him. And the blood avatar gets sucked back into the snarl. And Rowan sees her brother. He's alive, but his right leg is gone. below the knee. And now the whole building is coming down. Rowan's trying to crawl to Will. And then the floor that they're on collapses. Oh, and they're both falling. And then a light, gentle touch helps them float. Dean's Nasari and Lisette have arrived. Nasari is like blasting debris out of the air, and Lisette is using like this mist to float the twins toward them. And they all manage to escape just as the room collapses entirely into the abyss. And Will mutters to his sister, "We did it, Ro." And then his eyes close. He's in shock. Dean Lisette immediately like starts working on some green healing magic, whatever she's got. Rowan asks, "Will he be okay?" And Nasari says, "He'll live. After what you two have been through, you should be grateful." Thanks, Nasari.
I was feeling guilty already, but thank you. Yeah.
Rowan looks back through the doorway to see the glow of the snarl. It's gone, but she swears she can still feel it calling out to her. 5 weeks later, Will is walking down the hallway with a new cane and a new leg extended from his knee made of steel and ice. Dean Lisette offered to make him like a living wood replacement, but he prefers this version. He gets to keep working on controlling his magic because part of his mind has to focus on shaping and refreezing the ice around the metal frame at all times, which also helps distract him from the phantom limb, pins and needles, which... But one side effect of all their heroics is Will is now popular, and people notice him and want to chat him up in the hall. And it's nice, don't get me wrong, but he misses being able to blend in.
Those big arms and good looks didn't stand out before.
So he gets back to his dorm room, and his sister's there. And they ask about each other's health. Rowan's not quite back to full strength yet, and Will's doing a little bit better every day. And Rowan says, "I wonder what they'll say about all this back home." Will says, "Well, maybe we should visit after the semester." Rowan said, "Well, we could just go now." Will said, "And miss class?"
Miss class? No.
Rowan's like, "We took down a blood avatar. What more could they really teach us?" And Will says, "We did it with a spell learned here. And we still don't know why our magic doesn't sync up or why we can only planeswalk when we're together. There's probably more to learn." Rowan says, "Fine, you're right. I guess it would be nice not to have to drag you around with me all the time. See you later." And Will says, "Oh, say hi to Plink and Alvernine for me." And she stops in the doorway and turns to him. And all at once, Will is kind of struck by how thin she looks. Like something vital has been sucked out of her. But she gives him a warm smile and says, "You know I love you, right?" And Will says, "Yeah, I love you too." And Will sits on his bed, tired, and imagines what the future might hold for them here at Strixhaven. And what's going to happen next semester, next year? What could we learn? What could we do? Oh, the library. And then he starts concentrating on thermodynamics to continue practicing the maintenance of his leg. Meanwhile, let's check in with Kasmina real fast. Her owl flies away from the window of the twins' dorm room and soars over Strixhaven. The damage of the attack has been all but erased on the campus. They fixed the sidewalks, the garden. Really, the only thing that's super obvious is the ruins of the Hall of Oracles, because that's still a big old mess. And they also made this small monument of a statue there, and it changes faces every hour. And the inscription reads, "Lore is never lost at Strixhaven. They will not be forgotten." And the owl joins Kasmina at the edge of campus. She also had a bird on Luca, but he's just wandering around with Mila and a few remaining Oryx scrounging for food and shelter. He's really not worth watching anymore, so she doesn't think he's going to cause any more trouble.
Han Solo, he isn't.
He's whatever. But Kasmina believes it's Rowan and maybe both twins that really require her attention going forward. Meanwhile, It had taken Liliana days to get back to Strixhaven from a forest near the edge of the continent. When she got back, all the deans admitted they should have listened to her, and they invited her to remain a professor at the university indefinitely. So now she's got tenure, and she doesn't have to attend any more meetings. Nice deal. She agreed, but with one small caveat. As she's adjusting her uniform in the mirror, she kind of marvels at her life now. Like, my life is now like exams, students, no more demons, dark plots, no more death. She looks towards her desk where her research journals lay open. She says, "It seems this is where we finally part ways, old friend." She closes the journals, puts them back on the shelf, and she thinks, all considered, he would have been proud of her. And that makes her smile. When Liliana arrives at her first class, she hears the students hurrying to get to their seats in anticipation, and the chatter dies away as they look at her. She stops at the front of the room. "Welcome to your Introduction to Necromantic Arts course, students. My name is Professor Liliana Bess."
The end.
Yeah.
The end. So
she gets to go under her own name now, Liliana.
Liliana has that's interesting, because if Ravnica finds out, they're going to be mad. But that is a different plane, so it'll take a planeswalker to do it. So that's very interesting. And then Kesmina is a peeper and not much else.
Yeah.
Just a peeper narrator creature. Luca is a coward and a little wimp. He lost control of the mage hunters because some dragon fire happened. It didn't even say which dragon did it, but there were 5 dragons. I don't know how they expected to beat the dragons.
All of them came.
It's not a great plan. And Extus got crushed by his own creation, who then went back into the portal. And Will now has a special leg that he's got to maintain, but he's
got
otherwise
magic leg.
And the girls are into him now, and boys maybe. I don't know what the situation is there. And Rowan is a super powerful mega critter, but she has some part of her vitality missing. Like she maybe aged a few years in the turbulent events of what has happened.
And she's still thinking about that snarl. All that power. Maybe it's just one of those things. Once you've had a taste, you'll never stop craving it.
Actual Dark Phoenix?
I think so. She's my favorite.
Oh, yeah, you're her.
Yeah. But I wouldn't have said the things she said to her brother. That was really mean.
Well, you've never had a brother, so you don't know how annoying they can be.
I have 2 sisters, and I've never told them I wish they were dead.
Brothers are a special kind of hate.
Oh, okay.
Special kind of annoying, I should say. All right. Well, anything to add as we wrap up Strixhaven? That's it for the main story, right?
I'm going to miss it. I'm going to look over the rest of the side stories, but we're not going to tell all of them because a lot of them don't really have any bearing on the main story. But if I find a super juicy one, like the 2 we have recorded, then I will get another one ready. But otherwise, we'll probably move on to the next adventure, and I'm going to miss Strixhaven.
Yeah, we've had some comments. We're probably going to do new set lore, such as the Forgotten Realms lore, when that is coming out. And that comes out about every 3 months. But in the meantime, you said a lot of people have asked us to do Eldraine. But
I'm interested in going back to that and finding out more about the twins.
Leave a comment if you have a lore that you want us to revisit.
If you have a favorite, tell us your vote.
Yep. So please do that. And please remember to like and share the video, because getting these seen is a very different type of content for my channel. So finding what they call the Vorthos, the lore fans in Magic the Gathering.
Oh.
Yeah, they have a special name called the Vorthos.
Hi, Vorthos.
So if you can find them and get them to watch and see if they like the show, then that's awesome. And on that note, thank you for watching this video. On behalf of the lovely storyteller, my wife Gina, and the amazing editor Maddie B, it's me, it's CGB, and we will see you in the next video. You're cool.
Stay tuned after the credits to find out what college I'm in.
Okay, you ready? We're going to quiz you.
I'm ready.
It's a pop quiz.
What? No, I'm not ready.
Yeah. After all this time, we're going to figure out what college
Oh, college.
you belong to.
College is not a house.
So before we begin, you've gotten to know a few things about Strixhaven now. You've done the lore.
Yes.
Do you have a prediction?
I don't know. Like, I thought I would be maybe with the theater kids, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Then
I
away we
also
go.
like animals a lot. Which one's good for animals? Okay, I guess we'll find out.
But yeah, go ahead and read the quiz as you go for the people at home.
All right, so question number 1, choose your mascot. And my choices are elementals, pests, fractals, inklings, or spirits. I don't super love bugs as much, even though I like animals. Inklings are weird. I don't know what fractals are.
Did the whole lore doesn't know fractals. Okay.
I don't know what they are. And I don't know what the elementals or the spirits specifically are either. Those sound very vague to me. How do I choose one if I don't know what they are?
You have to choose. You just have to choose.
But I don't know what they are.
So tense. No, you just have to choose.
But then I won't get the right answer if I don't know what they are.
It doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong answer.
I don't know. Ghosts? I'll go hang out with some ghosts.
Cool. What if they're animal spirits?
That would be great.
All right, go on.
Okay. For yearbook, you've been voted most likely to become the next 1, discoverer of a lost dimension. 2, enlightenment, council leader to dignitaries. 3, idealistic plains leader. 4, award-winning elemental artist. Or 5, sage of thanatology.
Is that the study of Thanos?
Maybe.
Thanosing?
Well, that one's out. Council leader to dignitary sounds too dull. Elemental artist. I don't think I'm super artistic. I think it's between discoverer and idealistic leader. I think I'm somewhere between those two. I think I'm idealistic.
All right, Pollyanna. Next.
Yeah. A spider crawls up your arm. What do you do?
Should be quick.
Scream. Yeah. Yes, you're surprised, but you haven't had your daily scream yet. Swiftly gather up the specimen into a test tube, hoping you'll find beneficial properties in its biology. The spider looks like an enchanted breed you once read about. You tense, rolling up your sleeve to let it bite you. Brush it off your new tunic and straighten out the crease where it walked. Carefully set the spider on the ground using your magic to construct a tiny grass house so it will be safe. Oh, it's that one.
Come on.
I might be surprised,
You're
but
not going to scream?
I don't actually scream about spiders anymore.
Okay.
I just kind of go
All right.
like, oh, and then I try to find it a nicer place to be.
So you've ascended. All right, come on.
I have
Yep,
ascended.
let's go.
All right. A group project has been assigned. No. What are you doing?
Hates groups.
Threatening.
I know which one
Delegating
it's
tasks while trying to persuade your teammates to focus. Researching topics that have nothing to do with the project. Calling out sick to work on experiments of questionable intent. Finishing the project by yourself while everyone else is arguing. Or testing on a new spell to make these like gorgeous ice crystals form in your cup of artisanal water. Not that one. I am somewhere between threatening/delegating, trying to get everyone to focus, and just doing the whole thing myself because I'm tired of the group.
So which one? I know which one you'd actually do, and I know which one you'd like to think you'd do.
I probably would like to think I would delegate and persuade, but I'm probably just going to do it by myself. Yeah, sadly, that's where I am. After a long day of mage lessons, where can you be found? 1, practicing runes, trying not to get distracted by your own reflection in the ink pot. 2, sitting on the tallest tower, calculating the velocity rotten fruit would fall on the students below. 3, feeding your collection of carnivorous plants, dreaming about your next hybrid species. 4, buried in a pile of musty-smelling maps, wishing the library had extended hours. Or 5, sketching in front of a giant fireplace, trying to remember a spell that brings flames off the page. Ooh.
There's no puzzle.
None of these sound right.
None of these are a puzzle. None of these are Animal Crossing.
I like hanging out in front of the giant fireplace. I can't draw. I'm not going to sit on the tall tower and throw rotten fruit at people, that's for sure. I could feed my plants if they were animals. I guess the fireplace. I'm all over the place, aren't I? This is going to be really hard to pin me down.
Don't overthink it. I was really surprised by my result.
Okay. A dean calls on you during a long and boring assembly. You, wake up because you fell asleep. 2, blow out a candle you had just ignited in order to read a message written in invisible ink. 3, are ready with the correct answer to an equation you were assigned in your last course. 4, smile, having mentally prepared a speech ahead of time just in case you were called on. Hopefully the crowd goes, wow! 5, are caught off guard because you were daydreaming about creating a tornado to get out of this assembly. Oh, it's somewhere between the last 2.
Really? You're not the person who always has the correct answer?
This is a long and boring assembly. I'm not paying attention anymore.
Okay.
I'm thinking about a tornado to get out of here.
Nice.
You're on vacation. Where do you go? Time to hit the road. You're living out of a backpack. Destination unknown. Maybe you're in a haunted tree fort built high in the branches of a 500-year-old tree, equipped with an eco garden and a nearby river. Studying water particles in a semi-submerged enchanted laboratory beneath the sea. An all-inclusive ski lodge on top of a glorious mountain range. Do I have to actually ski?
No.
Okay. A stone cottage with flowers and vines cascading down the walls through trees you can view on an active volcano? What? Wait, what? I'm in a cottage. There's flowers and vines, and I can see an active volcano. Whoa! Okay, that's the best screensaver ever.
All right.
Okay.
So I don't believe you have to do that. I think you can scroll, but I'm not absolutely sure.
Well, let's see.
I think there's a way to see the answer somewhere.
It's showing me all the colleges.
Just keep going.
Here are your colleges.
Okay.
Here they are. Here's some more things.
All right.
Here's some things you can buy.
Maybe you do have to put in an email.
Oh. Okay. Right. Well, I don't want that to be on the screen.
Really? You don't? Okay.
I want everyone to email me.
You don't want to get some emails?
I don't want to get spammed.
Go down. Okay. Okay, so you just have to put in something. Just put in hi@gmail.com.
But what if it doesn't send it to me?
It'll show it on here. I know it does.
Okay.
You didn't check the box. You have to let hi@gmail.com get spammed.
Prismari!
Yay!
What? Life is art, and Prismari is here to remind the world. Prismari are the quintessential expressors of all things creative, beautiful, and elemental. From painting to sculpting, music to dance, Prismari College believes in self-expression and creativity in all forms. We love to inspire and leave a lasting impression on everyone we meet. When you're in Prismari, you gain friendships for a lifetime and some pain-stained clothes. Pain-stained clothes.
Pain-stained clothes?
Those are words.
Pain-stained?
Pain-stained. I'm in Prismari now.
You have a blue and red color scheme.
I'm ready to get real mad and blow up at stuff, right?
Nice. Are you surprised, or is it you kind of expected it?
I expected, because I was a theater major, so I assumed it would go in that direction, but I felt like my answers had one in each college, actually.
Yeah, me too.
So,
I felt that way.
So I think they just had to put me somewhere.
And look where they sent you.
I'm probably Prismari with a minor in animals.
You're okay, so you're Rowan. You like messing with the animal magic, but you also just want to go fight stuff.
Yeah,
and you crackle like Pikachu and you're mad.
I'm so Rowan.
All right, yeah. Sweet. Now we know what college you're going to. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm ready.